The governor,
it's one tool.
The governor is exactly right about it.
You guys are defending a tariff strategy that's actually not being put in place.
It's not a strategy.
The tariff strategy that you're describing is Trump saying, I believe in tariffs, carte blanche, let's just put them on there. But what he's actually doing is saying tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day. Tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day. If he really believed in what you are saying, he would just stick with his strategy, and he's not doing it.
He's trying to find the sweet spot with countries and industries. And he said today there will be no more extensions past April.
I just have to say,
I'm not even seeing that happening.
Circumstances, you can't just swing a pendulum back and forth with the American economy. I understand you all are saying it's a strategy, but what it feels like, and we talked a lot about feelings before November 5th, that the people felt like the economy wasn't good, even though the numbers said it was good. What we're saying is that people are feeling like the economy still isn't good, and the numbers are not good because the Dow is going down. Because
I trust the president to deal with Canada and Mexico.
Okay, but do you think it's a good idea to slap 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and then take them off and then put them back on and take them off?
And what happens in a year? What happens in a year? I'm curious
everybody yell at me, then I'll answer.
I'm not yelling at you. Cut it out. Don't do that to me.
Everybody go, and then I'll answer one at a time.
Don't do it, Scott. Don't do it.
Oh. Have to see this one. Abby Philippon-Khan was not having it. I mean, watch how she practically grits her teeth debating Scott Jennings on Trump's tariff strategy. The segment wasn't just tense, it was a full-blown ideological clash, and it was glorious. Now listen, when a can host like Abby goes head to head with someone like Scott Jennings, you know it's going to get spicy. Jennings, as always, came in with that calm, buttoned-up Republican vibe. But don't get it twisted. He brought some real points to the table. He wasn't just defending Trump's tariffs blindly. He was actually calling out the lack of a coherent strategy behind them. But Abby wasn't having it. You could feel the frustration in her voice every time Jennings tried to paint Trump's tariff flops as some kind of genius negotiation tactic. Because let's be real, what strategy flips every other week? One day it's tariffs for all, and the next it's, well, maybe just a little longer extension. That's not economic policy. That's mood swings with global consequences. Watch now.
I actually don't think he's looking for the long term. I think tariffs need to be used in a really, really surgical way to create space for industry to happen in the U.S., but that requires an industrial strategy. We haven't seen any coherent industrial strategy from this administration yet. Now, you know, like him or not, Biden had an industrial strategy. It's not just about tariffs. You've got to convince business, okay, what's the competitive strategy here? How are we going to train workers? How are we going to work with allies? You have to build capacity. Is Europe going to want to be in supply chain alliances with us? Maybe not, because, you know, we're talking about slapping tariffs on Europe too. I just don't buy it over the long haul. I'm for reindustrialization, but boy, it's a tough thing to do. You have to do it carefully.
I think Biden's industrialization strategy was to industrialize more government. I mean, a lot of jobs created in government during Biden.
America brought back a chips industry in 18 months. And
what was the announcement this week? That a chips maker from Taiwan is opening up a massive operation in Arizona. What was the auto industry announcement this week? That Honda is putting a plant in Indiana. $1.7 trillion already in announcements from this administration on investing in the U.S. economy. I agree with you, what you said earlier. Reindustrializing, juicing American manufacturing, it is a worthy goal. And that is the mission of the tariff plan. He strongly believes in tariffs. And if they're slapped on over a long period of time, we'll see if he's right.
I guess
but the governor,
it's one tool.
The governor is exactly right about
you guys are defending a tariff strategy that's actually not being put in place.
It's not a strategy.
The tariff strategy that you're describing is Trump saying, I believe in tariffs, carte blanche, let's just put them on there. But what he's actually doing is saying tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day. Tariffs one day, no tariffs the next day. If he really believed in what you are saying, he would just stick with his strategy, and he's not doing it.
He's trying to find the sweet spot with countries and industries. And he said today there will be no more extensions past April.
I just have to say,
I'm not even seeing that happening. I mean, he didn't say, okay, we're going to take tariffs off China and Mexico for these specific things. He said, we're going to just do another month.
All right. So I just watched this segment, and let me tell you, this paragraph right here, it's a goldmine of political contradiction. Let's break it down. I think Biden's industrialization strategy was to industrialize more government. Okay, stop right there. It's the classic conservative jab, government bad, private sector good. But then, not 5 seconds later, Jennings turns around and starts rattling off actual industrial wins under Biden. A Taiwanese chipmaker building a massive facility in Arizona. Honda putting a plant in Indiana. $1.07 trillion in private and public investment flowing into the U.S. economy. So, which is it, Scott? Because from where I'm sitting, that sounds like industrial strategy actually working. You can call it government industrialization if you want, but if it results in factories, jobs, and domestic production, who cares what you call it? That's not just theory. That's on-ground economic development. Now let's zoom in on this gem from Jennings. Reindustrializing, juicing American manufacturing. It is a worthy goal. Totally agree. No argument here. We all want strong American manufacturing, right? But then he pivots into Trump's tariff strategy, saying he strongly believes in tariffs, and if they're slapped on over a long period of time, we'll see if he's right. We'll see if he's right. We'll see if he's right. That's not a plan. That's like saying if we keep spinning the wheel, maybe eventually we'll hit the jackpot. Tariffs are supposed to be part of a larger strategy, not the whole strategy. You don't build an economy by taxing imports and just hoping domestic industry picks up the slack. Meanwhile, what do we actually see? Under Biden, love him or hate him, there's real movement. Factories are coming back. Foreign companies are investing here. Supply chains are being rerouted in the U.S. That's not just Biden showing up with a checkbook. That's legislation, incentives, infrastructure, and yes, some good old-fashioned government involvement. And here's the kicker. Scott Jennings admits it. He acknowledges the results while still trying to prop up Trump's theory. It's like saying, yeah, this guy built the house. But I like the guy who talked about building a house for 4 years. Look, if you want to talk tariffs, fine. But don't ignore the scoreboard. The industrialization that's actually happening, that's not because of Trump's tweet storms about China. It's because of a strategic push that's bringing capital, jobs, and production back home. So yeah, believe in tariffs all you want. But if your whole strategy is just let's slap them on and wait, you're already behind. Meanwhile, Biden's plan, all at government, heavy, call it whatever you want, actually delivering results. And that's what matters.
Almost every industry in Kentucky has come to me and said it will hurt our industry and push up prices of homes, cars, and so I'm going to continue to argue against tariffs.
Should he back off of it if it starts to hurt the constituents?
When we start losing, you back off. There's such a thing as a strategic retreat. At the end of the day, I think we have more leverage than any other nation, but we got to be smart, and we don't have all the leverage.
Maybe Tom Tillis is right. This was a retreat. I mean, he backed off. He absolutely backed off.
There is no question that inside the Republican Party, there is some resistance to this. I mean, that's just a fact. And there are issues, particularly on trade issues, where Trump is not an orthodox conservative. He didn't run on it. He has been very open about it. Some of the party supports him, some don't. In my home state of Kentucky, both Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul, not often aligned on issues, are both against it. You hear this from some corners of the party, but Donald Trump believes in this. And I suspect there is going to be some tariff strategy over the entire first term. And
But Scott, I hear what you're saying Trump believes in, but do you think it's a good idea?
Right. Yeah, that's my question.
I trust the president to deal with Canada and Mexico.
Okay, but do you think it's a good idea to slap 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico and then take them off and then put them back on and take them off?
And what happens in a year? What happens in a year? I'm curious
Everybody yell at me, then I'll answer.
I'm not yelling at you. Cut it out. Don't do that to me.
Everybody go, and then I'll answer one at a time.
Don't do it, Scott. Don't do it.
I'm going to let Ashley handle
Don't do it. As your colleague and friend, that we have these debates because we actually care about this country. I am curious. Okay, if this is the strategy, but we've been saying it's only 40 days. Well, what happens when it's 40 months? Like, what happens when the strategy hasn't paid off? When is the intervention point?
That's your prediction. Well, the interventions in American politics are elections. I mean, his whole economic strategy is not just tariffs. You've got the Congress working on the reconciliation package. You are going to try to see some cuts in federal spending, make permanent the tax cuts, changes in energy policy. In his mind, it all works together. And when you get a report card at the next election.
Can I ask you, Ronna?
All right. Yo, this clip is basically the GOP trying to solve a political Rubik's Cube. And they're still stuck on side one. Scott Jennings is on Ken trying to reconcile Trump's tariff chaos with conservative principles. And you can feel the tension. There is some resistance to this in the Republican Party. It's a full-blown identity crisis. Even Jennings admits Trump isn't a traditional conservative on trade. on tariff everyone and see what happens, and Republicans have been scrambling to make it make sense ever since. He even points to Kentucky, where Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul, who rarely agree on anything, are both against Trump's tariffs. That's a red flag right there. Then someone hits him with the real question. Do you think it's a good idea to slap 25 tariffs on Canada and Mexico, then take them off, then put them back on? Boom, that's it. Trump's tariff policy isn't a strategy, is a roller coaster. 1 week it's punishment, the next it's peace talks. How do industries plan around that? Jennings dodges. He doesn't say it's a bad idea, but he clearly doesn't believe it's a great one either. He's trying to sell chaos as strategy, and no one's buying. Then comes the knockout. What happens when the strategy still hasn't worked in 40 months? Exactly. We've seen this movie before. Trump promised factories a trade win over China and a shrinking deficit. What we got was instability, higher costs, and international partners walking away. Jennings tries to patch it up with talk of tax cuts and energy policy. Like buzzwords will fix it all. But Trump's plan is basically shake the economy and see what sticks. And Jennings closes with, you get a report card at the next election. Sure, but if tariffs are the homework, they better pray someone else did the real work, because trust Trump isn't an economic policy. This wasn't just a debate. It was the GOP trying to back a chaotic strategy while secretly hoping it doesn't blow up in their face. Anyway, let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. It helps us, it helps the mission, and it helps bring honest conversation to the table.